My psychopath mother assaulted me and took me to court over $3. She lost, then vandalized the house I was renting to her. I had her evicted and admitted to a psych ward for what she did after. I own a small house, and my parents have always really wanted to live in it rent-free. My dad is retired, and my mom refuses to work, and after some bargaining, we came to deal. A lease was written stating they'd pay $350 per month, which was the amount needed for me to pay it off. Essentially, I wasn't making a dime on this house. Well, I recently told my mother that rent would go up by $3 because of a slight increase in insurance. My mother lost it. She actually screamed at me, claiming I'm a money-hungry beach, threatened to ruin the garden because of this, and even lunged at me trying to grab my hair. She yelled that I owe her this, that she won't pay the $3, and I can't evict her because it's her house. I finally got her to let go of me and yelled back that she and my dad are listed as tenants. I went to turn around and leave, but she ran past me and blocked the door. "I'm not paying," she yelled again. I was at my wit's end by now and physically pushed her out of the way, then told her to talk to a lawyer about this, because if they refuse to pay, I will evict them. I walked out of the house, and later I heard the news that my mother is divorcing my father because he took my side when she told him about it. A few days later, I found out that my mother had actually gone to a lawyer, insisting that I had no right to raise the rent at all, and was determined to fight the $3 increase in court. The news hit me like a punch to the gut. I couldn't believe that my own mother was willing to drag this through the legal system over such a minor amount of money. It felt surreal, but in my gut, I knew this was just another attempt for her to exert control over the situation, another power play to try and bend things to her will. The whole ordeal of going to court was long and exhausting. My mother showed no sign of backing down, convinced she was entitled to the house. She kept arguing that the house belonged to her, that she had the right to stay there without paying more rent. It was as though the signed lease meant nothing to her. She was focused on portraying herself as the victim, emphasizing how I had betrayed her, how I owed her after everything she had done for me over the years. She made a lot of emotional statements, but none of them held up in front of the judge. The law was clear. A lease was a lease, and my parents were tenants. I was legally allowed to raise the rent to cover rising costs, even if it was just by $3. In the end, the judge ruled in my favor. The case was dismissed, and my mother's claims were rejected. My mother walked out of the courtroom in a cold silence. Her expression was a mix of anger and humiliation, like she couldn't believe what had just happened. She didn't say a word to me, but the silence between us was thick with tension. It felt like I was holding my breath, waiting for the next explosion, knowing it was only a matter of time. A few days passed with no word from her. I thought maybe this would be the end of it. Maybe she would finally accept that she had lost, but that was wishful thinking. My mother wasn't one to let go of something easily, especially when it came to control. It wasn't long before the next wave of drama hit. One afternoon, I got a call from one of the neighbors. They told me that my mother had been in the yard, ripping out plants and destroying the garden. By the time I arrived, the damage had already been done. The garden, which had once been a place of beauty and tranquility, was completely wrecked. Flowers were torn from the ground, pots were smashed, and the small trees I had carefully nurtured were uprooted. It looked like a hurricane had passed